Back on the beat, the Up FM boys, T and Mudge, we're back, and we've got the one and only Mr. Danny Byrd on the line. Now, Danny Byrd is one of the pinnacle figures in the drum and bass movement on a global level right now, and from humble beginnings, being one of the early artists signed to Hospital Records, through to his massive hit Ill Behaviour, reaching number 35 on the UK singles chart in late 2010. Danny Byrd is in Auckland tonight to kick off the first week of the Easter Weekender tour. Danny, it's a pleasure and honour to have you here on Up FM. How are you?
Hello mate, how's it going?
Good, good. Look,
a nice intro for me.
No, that's the one, we have to do it. We're well known for our massive introductions here on the Sonic Drive. Now, I know you're a bit knackered, so what we're going to do is we're going to keep this one nice, short and sweet for you. We're going to jump into some questions just to find out a bit more about the man Danny Byrd, and then we're going to chuck some rapid fire questions at you. Are you ready, my friend?
Okay, let's do it. Okay.
All right. First up, you've been touring extensively so far in 2011. Where have been some of the highlights for you so far, Danny?
2011, I guess a lot of the hospitality parties, like back home in the UK, some of those are really sort of on fire at the moment. Like hospitality is the brand night of Hospital Records.
Yes.
And they have a flagship night that they do in London at Brixton Academy. And that's like 5,000 people capacity, and we kind of do it with all hospital lineup, which is sort of testament to sort of the power of the hospital artists, I guess, at the moment. You know, before, you know, maybe a couple of years ago, the hospital parties, you'd have like Andy C as a guest or whatever. But now, you know, we can fill these venues with just the art, you know, just pure hospital lineup, which is great. So.
That's awesome. Loving it.
I mean, Danny, your latest set of singles, Sweet Harmony, Ill Behaviour and Tonight, have crossed over to an audience not predominantly into drum and bass. Are you aiming for the charts or making tunes more accessible to people as a conscious thing, or does it just happen that way?
Could you say that again, so it was breaking up a little bit?
Oh, no, that's fine. I was just saying, in regards to those tunes you've got, like Ill Behaviour and Tonight, you've crossed over into an audience who traditionally haven't listened to drum and bass. Are you trying to make your tunes more accessible to people, or has it just happened that, you know, your drum and bass has hit the charts?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's one of those things where my drum and bass is obviously like quite sort of party orientated, and it's not, you know, it's serious music, but it's not serious underground drum and bass in the traditional sense. It's done with a lot of fun.
Yes.
And I guess in the past, it's kind of like my stuff was maybe too commercial for the likes of, say, maybe Fabio and Groove Rider to play on their show. Yeah. But now you've got DJs like Annie Mac on Radio 1 that sort of dominate. You know, she's probably one of the most important people in dance music, and she's been a big supporter of my stuff. And I guess where it's just, for somehow I just seem to make radio friendly tracks, and the radio picked up on it, and you know, it's lucky that they're supporting it. Basically, I didn't write it for the charts or anything, but it's just one of those things where something, you know, a tune just sort of takes on a life of its own, and you know, you're not going to turn that down if you're offered that. So.
That's awesome. And I also like how you've put in there, you make your music with fun, because that actually comes through in your tunes. You know, that element of fun is in there, which is awesome. You know, love it. And also now, just
I mean, the drum and bass has maybe suffered from being a bit too serious in the past few years. You know, I think that's where Hospital does really well. They bridge that gap. You know, it's good for the hardcore fans, but it's accessible enough for people that haven't heard drum and bass before to go to a night and really enjoy it. So.
I like that. You know, you got some hardcore elements in there. Now, I just want to talk about the latest album. Like when I listen to your album, Rave Digger, you can't help but hear some very familiar sounds, like the sound of Prodigy and even the old school West Coast hip-hop creeping in there. So where does the original idea for a track come from when you're first brainstorming?
I mean, it's just one of those things where I think Sweet Harmony was the start of it. That was one of the first tracks. I mean, that track's like 3 years old now. That was just done as a sort of bootleg to play at one of the hospitality parties about 3 years ago, and it kind of stemmed from there. And I'm 31 now, so I'm getting old, so I'm like referencing all the stuff from my youth, you know, and it's like there's loads of these great kind of rave sounds and keyboards and pianos and stuff that haven't been heard by a whole generation, and it's sort of I just got the idea to sort of update those sounds with modern production, so you can play it in a club now and it has that volume and that loudness and that punch. But
that's the one.
Introducing those old sounds to a new generation. I mean, it's a semi-concept album, you know. It's not something that I'm going to pursue time and time again, but I just thought it would be fun for this one to go back to kind of the old school sounds.
That's so awesome. I love how you say you're bringing in some of the old stuff for the new generation. I love that because some of the older stuff is actually better than the new stuff, and you're just showing us youngsters how to actually do it, you know, keeping on top of it and making sure that we know who actually started everything, you know what I mean?
Well, the thing is as well, it's like, you listen to a lot of those rave tunes, okay, the production is a bit raw and basic, but they had great riffs.
Yes, definitely.
And melodies that you could have. And actually, melodically, it's far more complex than most modern drum and bass now. You know, it is really hard to make those hands in the air pianos. It sounds easy, but trust me, when you try and write like a classic piano riff, it's not easy.
It's not easy at all.
So it's good to have those riffs so people can go back and remember those tunes. Basically, when they get home from a club.
They're like anthems.
Yeah, no, I bet it is quite hard. I mean, but what has been your proudest achievement to date, though?
I guess it has to be the chart position, really, because it's the first time I've ever reached top 40 of the UK, and it's quite a big thing. Hospital's never had a top 40 hit, and just all the radio support, you know, hearing your tunes on daytime radio. I mean, I gather that, you know, obviously your station supports a lot of electronic music in the daytime and stuff, but back home, Radio 1 predominantly, it's after 7 p.m. that you have the electronic music. But these tracks are getting playlisted on daytime, so you've got all sorts of, you know, all your family hearing that, you know, all these people hearing it at work, all these people that you went to school with, you know, you'd forgotten about are like, oh, I hear your tracks on the radio. You know, they don't know anything about drum and bass, so it's a great feeling.
They hear the name
walking around Bath like I feel like I'm the king or something. You know?
No, that's awesome. So it must feel good, like, you know, for actually people to remember you from school, you know, the name, and it's like, hey, oh mate, I went to school with them, you know. It must make you feel really good.
Yeah, no, it does, because they know, you know, they knew that I was into this back then, you know, and it's probably funny for them to see someone kind of like tinkering, you know, and actually, 10, 15 years later actually hearing them on the radio, I guess, you know. It's
awesome. It's like, you know, follow your dreams, you can achieve them. Another question that's really playing on our minds, and RPFM really want to know, what's next on the line for Danny Byrd, like production-wise, touring-wise? Can we expect you to write a book anytime soon, maybe a movie?
I might write a book. I've been told I should write a book because I've got quite a few funny stories, but I don't know how funny that would be to the rest of the kind of non-industry. I don't know. So I think I should stick with music. It's probably what I'm best at.
No, that's all good. Now, you actually said you might write a book because you got some funny stories. Is there by any chance, can we like sneak one of those out of you?
There was one time, actually, I don't know if you remember the group Easy Rollers. They're not so much stuff now, but, you know, 10 years ago they were quite big in drum and bass. And me and my friend were actually signed to their label before Hospital.
Okay.
And I remember we were signed to their label, and they took us out for a kebab. We had a kebab for dinner. And actually, when we got our royalty statement through, which wasn't a lot of money, let me tell you, because we weren't selling that many records, but it said on the royalty statement, doner kebab, £9.67 deducted from our royalty account. I don't know how funny you'd find that, but man, it's so funny at the time.
That's quite funny though. But £9.67.
It's an industry story. It's a legendary one, you know. It's just funny, man.
Amazing. Yeah. So they take it out your royalty, but hey, you're doing much better these days, so you can't complain.
I can't complain. No, I can't complain.
I mean, Danny, you've been to New Zealand before. I mean, what was your favourite part of your visit when you came here last?
I think we did Auckland on the Thursday as a free show, and that was wicked. And then we did Wellington, which was at Sandwiches, which was a sick club. I just love the whole of New Zealand, really. The vibe is great. it's even better than back home, really, in some respects.
Wow.
You know, it's just because the people really appreciate you coming through, and and it's a long flight, and
yes,
I feel the appreciation, and it's like it's well worth coming. I always enjoy coming through Auckland and New Zealand in general.
Well, there you go. A person of your caliber, it's not every day that we get the opportunity. So when someone like yourself does hit the shores of New Zealand, Auckland City, Auckland just goes totally nuts, and we're all there to show the support. So tonight's going to be no different, my friend. I hope you're ready for it.
Yeah, definitely.
Now,
I'm so looking forward to it.
So we, mate. Now, Danny, look, thank you for that. That was the serious side of things. We want to have a bit of fun with you before we let you go. So don't be ashamed here. We need to get these out of you. What's your favourite rave tune of all time?
Well, it's probably actually the first Prodigy album. I couldn't name one tune. It's the whole album as a whole. So the Prodigy experience.
I like that. I like how you say it's a Prodigy experience, because it is. It definitely is.
Experience. I should have called my album the Danny Byrd Experience, shouldn't I? I should have called it
Hey,
Experience.
That could be the next one.
Big.
Exactly. That could be the next one that you drop, the Danny Byrd Experience.
Danny, if you could spend...
Okay, yes, that's good.
If you could spend the day with another person in the studio, any musician throughout history, who would it be?
Interesting. Well, I quite like to work with MJ Cole, actually. I know he's not dead yet, so yeah, I'm pleased to hear that. MJ Cole's like a huge influence. I love all that old garage stuff. So
yep.
I don't know. I'm going to try and poach him for my next album. I'm going to try and do a tune together. See what he says.
Nice.
He might be up for it.
I reckon he'll be up for it, definitely. Now, also, outside of music, we know that musicians can be quite different when they're on stage to their personal lives. What's your favourite hobby, Danny?
I don't really have a hobby outside music, actually. I thought it's boring, but it's just music all the time.
Really?
What hobby do I have?
That's dedication. Music.
I don't have a hobby. You ask most musicians, they don't have a hobby. Their life is music. I know that's such a boring answer, but I do like my Bond films, though. I'll give you that. I like my Bond films, so you can call that a hobby if you like.
Nice. No, I like the honesty, because that's so true. If you're a musician and you're following your passion, that is actually your life. It's 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So I love the honesty.
I mean, Danny, where can we find more about you on the net? Do you have a Facebook or a MySpace?
What was that? Sorry, Nick, you're breaking up there.
Oh, that's all right. Where can we find more information about you on the net?
I'm on Twitter. You can hit me up on Twitter, www.twitter.com, Danny Byrd, that's Bird with a Y.
Yes.
I'm also on Facebook as well. And I've got my own website, which is www.birdfeed.co.uk, which is kind of like a label site.
Nice.
Sort of updates you on the latest releases and sort of the whole Rave Digger album. So probably go to Birdfeed for the most up-to-date information.
Well, that's the one. Go to the official Danny Byrd website and you'll get everything you need. And now, finally, before we let you go, Danny, for those heading to studio tonight to catch you in action, what can we and the Up FM listeners expect from you, Danny Byrd, tonight?
A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
No serious drama. A lot of fun. It's going to be fast-moving, fast-paced. I kind of play like 200 tunes in an hour. So
nice.
I like to play. I like to sort of shock the audience and play non-drum and bass stuff as well, just for a quick second, just to change the vibe. It's going to be fun tonight.
No, that's awesome. It actually comes through to see that you're a dude who likes fun on your interview in the Menu magazine. I'm loving the picture on the cover there. Someone's you're squirting water on yourself there.
Yeah, I had to get quite wet to get that shot. It came out well in the end.
Yeah,
it was going to be like a boxer going into a ring,
that's the one.
And the water sprayed on his face, but some people say it looks like something else. But
as soon as you said that, I had something come into my head, but I won't say it. Well, Danny,
don't say it.
I'm not allowed. Well, Danny, thank you so much. Up FM, make sure you check out the Menu magazine. The picture's awesome. You can see he's a cool guy. Danny, you have an awesome afternoon recovering, and we will see you tonight. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Danny.
Wicked. Thanks very much. Thanks for your support, mate.
Thank you. Well, there you go. That was the one and only Danny Byrd. Amazing dude. If you want more information, just jump out on his website, the official website, Byrd. No, it was spelled with a Y, sorry, I was going to say B-I-R-D. He wouldn't have been happy with that.
That's correct. Now, on that note, we actually do have a single pass to give away to the Easter week and the Taster week tonight to see Danny Byrd. All you have to tell us is, what is Danny's favourite pastime outside of music? Now, that's a bit of a trick question because he didn't really have a hobby. So it's a pretty easy answer to figure out what is his favourite hobby.
He does it 24/7.
Text your answer to 8736 with your name and you have an entry to go into Danny Byrd tonight.
It's that easy. So we'll pay some bills and we'll announce the winner after we've dropped these. So if you want that single pass, get texting.